DJ Raw was born in the Bronx in 1963.
Oh, it was really tough, man. You know, my mom, single parent. My dad was a coward. He abandoned me when I was 7 months old. And by the time I was 7 years old, I was on a street corner selling heroin for the boys because they couldn't stand on the corner, and we had times when we were homeless, like 3 meals a day, white rice and eggs.
During the 1970s, gangs populated every corner of the Bronx.
We had the Homicide Brothers, the Golden Guineas, the Black Falcons, the Savage Skulls, Chingalings. My uncle was one of the Chingalings, one of the original Chingalings. And I promise you, we didn't even know that the West Coast existed. We didn't know that. We didn't even know nothing about Bloods and Crips, none of that in the Bronx. We were developing our own gangs, TWA, Raquel.
At the age of 7, DJ Raw started selling dope.
My uncle Beginning, which means Peter, he was part of the Chingalings, and he was a heavy dope boy. Had a big old chopper, not a chopper like we got an Opalaka, a chopper motorcycle. He had the cut-off jacket, and he was my mentor, like someone I looked up to, someone I wanted to be like. That's why I didn't have no fear 7, 8, 9, 10 years old standing on the corner serving for the brothers, because they couldn't stand on the corner.
In the 1970s, an underground urban movement known as hip-hop began to form in the Bronx.
Hip-hop wasn't hip-hop. We didn't have the word hip-hop yet. It wasn't created yet. We were just building up our craft, b-boying, MCing, the DJs, the graffiti artists. Everyone was still building their crafts. So hip-hop wasn't hip-hop yet. And actually, we didn't know that what we were doing was going to be what it is today. We didn't know that it was going to evolve. Like, I didn't even know that I was one of the first 25 b-boys coming out of the Bronx. I didn't know that. That all came to me later. Now, at this time where I'm living right now is where everything is unfolding. Also what's unfolding is that I didn't know after I did my prison term and came home, I didn't realize that I did the first original hip-hop jam in South Florida. I didn't know that as well. The passion, the love for the craft is what turned into hip-hop, because everyone loved their craft and they kept pushing forward, we kept pushing forward, and then the day came that African Bombard and Kool Herc said, this is hip-hop.
In 1976, DJ Raw and his family migrated to Miami.
The early 70s in Florida was tough for me. We didn't come directly to Miami, we went to Tampa, and we had to leave Tampa because of all the racism. Because I was going to a school and I was the only Latino in that school, and always fighting, always going through drama with the teachers and stuff like that. So my mom said, we got to get out of Tampa, let's move you to Miami. It's a little more city-like. Miami was still divided back then though, not the way it is right now. Even with our own Latinos and stuff like that, we were all divided back then. It was crazy.
During the 1980s, Miami was known as the drug capital of the world. DJ Raw dropped out of high school and started hustling full-time.
I'm in Wynwood. I'm looking at individuals like Mercado, I'm looking at Pelon, let him rest in peace. Charlie Parrilla, beautiful brother, showed me how to box, showed me how to hustle. This was a brother I wanted to be like. You know what I'm saying? And he was getting that cheddar, he was doing his thing, and just recently, a year or so, he passed. But this brother here was the epiphany of a true hustler in the game from Wynwood.
In 1990, tragedy struck when Raw's mentor, Mercado, was killed by the police.
It was 1990. Mercado got killed by some cops. They beat him down. They killed him in front of his children. Okay, and we took off the same way we took off in 1980 when they killed McDuffie. We went all mayhem because we're tired of our brown-skinned people being murdered. We have to understand that we're one nation. From butter pecan all the way to dark chocolate, we are one people. Mikado got passed away. He was a crack dealer, and for whatever reasons, he ran into that situation with the popo, and he got murked, and we rioted in Wynwood. But after the fact, I took over the spot. I took over the spot where they were moving at.
DJ Raw took over Mikado's drug spot.
No one wanted to stand there no more, because imagine, Gano got killed by the popo, so people were terrified. I was kind of a daredevil. Me and the boys were like, you know what? Let's go take that spot over. Let's start pushing out that spot. And we did. And we did it well.
DJ Raw was making thousands of dollars a day.
We were terrorizing the neighborhood, man. Really, really crazy, man. And I had turned selling 20s into like a fast food joint. Pull up, get your shit. You ain't even had to get out the auto. And you could picture this, because we had Brohams, 7, 8 of them across the street. That was constantly, not to mention my 35 autos on my side of the street. Only way you came on the property was if you were buying weight. Otherwise, you was on the street just rolling by. It was a real, real busy time for us.
Violent turf wars between drug crews were a frequent occurrence in Miami. On one occasion, a rival crew attempted to take over Raw's drug spot.
I took over the spot, so we pull up here, my bus will park here, we serving on 40th Street.
Straight up and down.
And they came by, did like a little drive-by, so I went by all the spots and sprayed everything. The whole window, we just emptied up clips. My lady at that time, Sergeant Moose, was her uncle. So he was one of the
From city of Miami?
Right from here, from Wynwood.
Okay.
And so they came to the house and they said, yo, we know it's you. We didn't catch you doing it, but the whole Wynwood was saying it was you. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
He said, it wasn't me, I'm home, you can't get none of that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, everything slowed down. Brothers that we had the rivalry with said, I see you serious about keeping the spot, keep that shit. So we kept the spot, now we're moving forward.
DJ Raw would later meet Mikado's wife, and she would start supplying him with work.
A lady pulled up on me, her name is Raquel, and she started, she wanted to find out who DJ Raw was. And all my boys were playing games. I'm DJ Raw. Enemy said, I'm DJ Raw. Old Dog said, I'm DJ Raw. Louis T said, I'm DJ Raw. And I saw her starting to cry, and I said, hold up, man. What's up, man? I'm Raw. How can I help you? And I started speaking to her in Spanish. And she said, can you get in the car and go for a ride? My boy right away, Enemy, which was my right-hand man, said, yo, don't get in the car, Raw. Don't do that. And I said, man, I'm good. She said, please leave your gun. I said, uh-oh. But anyway, I took it out and I left it. I got in the car. So I got in the car with her and she explained to me what was going on with the spot. She said, you got this spot here and you got 40th Street. She said, I know you serve on 40th Street. I can't tell you what to do on 40th Street. I said, you can't tell me what to do anywhere. I said, I'm just being straight up with you. But go ahead, I'm listening. She said, all I'm asking is, I got my house, I got to pay for the mortgage on the building, I got the babies, I'm in the mix.
Right.
And I'm sitting on work. She said, I don't know what to do. So I said, okay, what's the number? She gave me a number I couldn't refuse. She just started giving me work, so I went to town. So when I was here, I was moving her work. When we were on 40th Street, we were doing our shots. So we were kind of working together. Everybody started working together. Some people were feeling a certain kind of way because everybody wanted the main spot, which was right here. Yeah. This was the main spot in Wynwood. Everybody know that.
DJ Raw invested some of his money into the music business.
We got so much money, we didn't know what to do. We started producing our own records, our own vinyls, our own CD. We put together $250,000 studio, another $100,000 for a tour bus. I mean, we just putting money out there. Another $100,000 for a couple of record stores.
During the 80s and early 90s, hip-hop was not fully accepted in Miami.
When I got here, hip-hop wasn't accepted in Florida. Radio stations weren't playing it. A lot of brothers didn't even know they were hip-hop. They were on the bass era, the booty era, and if you would try to associate them with hip-hop, they really didn't want to be a part of the hip-hop scene. And I'm just being real. I'm being as real that I was called into 99 Jams for an interview. and this was in the 90s, and Uncle Al was on the station. I was excited because I thought that at that point, they were going to show love to the hip hoppers. And what they told me was, you need to stop what you're doing with the hip hop because you're going to change the culture in Miami. And we weren't having that.
DJ Raw set up a pirate radio station to give hip hop an outlet in Miami.
So I go mayhem to promote hip hop. I turned on a few radio stations underground. One, 91.7 WJHH, We're Just Hip Hop, which was the station that 99 Jams wanted me to shut down and kept calling FCC on us.
In 1994, DJ Raw founded Hoodstock, a free hip hop festival in Miami.
So we're watching this big screen TV, and there was a news flash about Woodstock. And I'm there chilling with my boy, Omar Islam, very powerful brother in the hip hop industry. Anyway, this brother says, hey, you know something, Raw? You should do a Hoodstock. I said, what? He said, yeah, you should do a Hoodstock. Because them folks there doing that shit in the country, we need to do something for the inner city. So right there, when he threw that at me, I was like, okay, that shit kind of makes sense. He says, then you open up the doors for all the local hip hoppers to come in and get down. I said, all right. So we did that, and we did the first Hoodstock event in 1994. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, man, we probably brought maybe 500 people together. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, but we had the time of our life doing it. Then we went into 1995. How Can I Be Down? Peter Thomas was doing the music convention on South Beach. And we had a little friction, me and him. We were having we wasn't on the same page because he wanted to take over the world and I was trying to do something for the inner city people. But anyway, I was willing to sponsor How Can I Be Down to see if we could get on one of them hip hop stages. And one of his people said, yeah, we'll put you on an amateur stage. I said, what? And they wanted to tax me some outrageous money. I said, man, that shit ain't happening. I said, you know what? I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna go give it away in the inner city, because if I'm gonna give it away to How Can I Be Down, I might as well give it away to Miami, to Wynwood. And that's exactly what I did. 1995 ran me an easy 150 grand, 200 grand easy to hook people up, pay them, set up stage, get the park insurance, do everything I had to do. And guess what? Free for the community. So talk about dropping bags.
Raw used some of his proceeds to open up a music studio and a record store.
This spot right here, 4856,
yeah,
this is where DJ Raw Records was at. And there was a time, I'm gonna tell you, there was some pulled up right here on 7th Avenue, like 6 Tauruses lined up with the blue balls in the front. With the light they had pulled up, and I was like, God damn, what I'm gonna do? I give thanks. Right next door was Harlem Drugs. And prior to that, like a month or two, he had told me, if you ever need my help, I'm here for you. Anyway, they pulled up. I ran out the back door with a bird I had. And his door to Harlem Drugs is right next door, like 3 feet away. And it was cracked open. So I ran inside there. And he looked at me and said, what's up? I said, cops out front. He said, I saw that. I said, man, I need to stash this. He said, put it in the safe and get out my store. I got out the store, came back. When I came back into my store, they were already knocking on the glass. We had to buzz them in. After we buzzed them in, they laid us all flat on the ground. They didn't have nothing. They let us go. We went back to usual business. But this is where the record store, the studio, this is like one of my main stomping grounds that also gave me a push to be able to do Hoodstock.
Raw was knee-deep in the drug game, and he would start having second thoughts about his lifestyle.
It got so crucial, we were making so much money on the block. One day, when Enemy hear this, you know what I'm saying, he gonna say, damn, that shit was real, because Enemy was my right-hand man. We had bags of money, and he was like, damn, this shit getting crazy. Especially when we started selling crack. When we started selling crack, we were into it like 18 months deep. And you saw this beautiful girl come, beautiful, gorgeous, looked like a model. And then 18 months come, she missing teeth. got no shoes on, got nothing, looking crazy. Some of the boys were running through her and stuff like that, man. You know, I got an eerie feeling, man. I got like a spiritual awakening. I said, I don't want to be a part of this shit. You know, and Enemy was feeling the same damn way. He was like, damn, what the fuck we doing, man? We killing our people, man. Look at this shit, raw. Look at all our clients, what they turned into. Beautiful people, they had nice jobs. You know, what we would call functioning addicts today, we turned them gutter. And I didn't want to be a part of that shit, honestly. So I'm gonna tell you this, I wanted out the game, and I'm glad that I'm still alive, and I'm glad I'm out of that game, because I ain't hurting my people no more.
In 1997, DJ Raw's run came to an end. He was sentenced to prison for spearheading a multi-million-dollar cocaine trafficking ring.
I got sentenced for selling drugs in Wynwood. I was looking at 20 years. They said if I take a plea, they'll let Enemy, Courage, Cheeky, my wife, basically the whole clique, go home. So if you take this plea, Raw, and you take the 10 years, you'll go to prison and your family will go home. I spoke to the big head. As a matter of fact, the guy that was over us, Raquel, over all of us, his name was Big Head. And Big Head, Raquel's attorney, my attorney, all the attorneys came together. And they said, yo, you got too many people against you, too many people who's gonna testify against you. They explained that to us, because so-called we were the big heads. And they said the best thing to do here is for everybody to plead out. So from Big Head all the way down to Courage, Cheeky, to then everybody pleaded out. Everybody took their pleads. For my crew, for my ex-wife, for my children, I'm a superhero. Whatever else anybody got shit to talk about, get out the game. Because if you're talking shit about the next man, I'm gonna tell you this, a real man don't talk shit about another man. And everybody's circumstances are not the same, okay? Niggas want to talk shit about the brother Raw, but not to my face. They want to talk shit because they are a petty, narrow-mindedness way of thinking. See, I'm thinking about my future. And if you get in the game and you think there's love and loyalty and you think someone's gonna do time for you, that shit don't exist no more. That's a goddamn lie. Love and loyalty, that shit does not exist. If you think it does exist, keep going down that pipeline, and when the shit hits the fan, you're gonna see that you ain't got nobody in your crew that's going to be loyal to you. You know why? Because the big heads are forgetting about their brothers, the ones that go and do the time. See, it wasn't like back in the days when we had the chinglings and real gangsters, right? You fell and they would take care of you while you was in prison and take care of your family, right? Because you made them millionaires. But today, ain't nobody taking care of none. I don't give a damn who you are. If you fall, the next man turns his back on you, and you know what he's trying to do? He's trying to slay your girl while you gone. He's trying to pick up what you left behind. That's what he's trying to do. So now you're asking why so many motherfuckers telling on each other. Why? Because there is no love and loyalty. The head turns his back on the brothers that put him on. So how the fuck you think someone's gonna be loyal? We were set up, man. We were set up to turn on each other. We were set up to go to prison. I'll leave you with that.
The Hoodstock Festival became known as the most influential hip-hop event in South Florida.
Hoodstock, I got a brother Garcia, I want to big him up as well, because he was dropping me kites while I was on my bunk. And he actually told me, yo, Raw, man, Hoodstock inspired me. Now, you wondering who Garcia is. He was Pitbull's hype man, which later on turned out to be a rapper. But watch this. Look how powerful Hoodstock was. Fat Joe got down. He was at the stage. This is one of the first stages Joe had hit in South Florida. And Garcia was one of the kids in the audience wanting to rap. And you know what Fat Joe did out of his heart? He passed the mic to Garcia, and he blessed Garcia, and from Garcia it trickled into Pitbull. Everybody evolved. It was outrageous, man. People in the audience, Wu-Tang, Mary J. Blige. I mean, I could keep going. Performers, Arcanelli, Fat Joe. I mean, I could keep the whole boot camp clique. Tony Touch, Crazy Legs, Rocksteady Crew, Zulu Grims. It goes on and on. Speedy Legs. I mean, it was an outrageous, stupid event. It was so outrageous that they did not want 1997 to hit. That's how outrageous it was, because when they took me down, they told me, you know why we taking you down now? Because you're about to become a public figure, and we got to get you out the way before you get that power. This is why we took you down. All the people that evolved from Hoodstock. Why? Free for the community, and when you play a significant part in other people's lives, that's the history I want to be a part of.
Raw's Uncle Peter was murdered in the summer of 1973. He was found shot twice in the head in front of the building he lived in. Peter was involved with a few women, and speculation was he may have been set up by one of them. The officer who beat Mercado to death was acquitted. The 1990 riot in Wynwood was dubbed the Mercado Riot. The riot was said to have caused $3 million in property damage. After serving 10 years in prison, Raw turned his life around.
You know, my family, we're a holistic family, and we solely vegan. My wife's been vegan for 22 years, I've been vegan 13 years. And what we're doing is encouraging our community to amp up their diet. Our health is our wealth. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have health, no matter how much money you have, it won't mean a damn. If you don't have your health up to par, it don't mean a damn. We have to start with self, within. We have to take care of our body. I got a project that I call Ghetto Grow Your Own. And I said, man, you know what? I'm gonna start growing my food. I started a bunch of patches in the house. It's been a blessing for a lot of my people, because my sister started a patch in North Carolina. Nikki Almost started a patch in Tampa. Faisal started a patch in Homestead, a Moringa farm. Speedy in the Bronx started a patch in the Bronx. You don't need to chase no money. What you need to do is chase your dream and chase your health, and the money will come. Serve. There's a saying, if you want to remain poor, serve the rich. If you want to get rich, serve your people, man, serve the poor. If you want to become successful, you got to find a way to serve your people. Let's get to work.
Greetings, this is your girl Hemp Goddess. They call me the Michifa, the Hemp Goddess, and I just want to say, I want to send my condolences to all the families out there that suffered from these times. So I just want to give thanks for this moment. I want to give thanks for the sun, the people here, and the time that we're going into the future, the positive, uplifting time of the future where we all stand together and live as one. It goes, listen, 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 listen. Your life is a lesson. You'll learn more if you listen. Listen, listen. And remember, if you just listen listen more than you speak, you'll learn. And you can do better in the future than you did in the past. Another thing I want to share is another song that I made, and it's called Freedom. It's time for freedom. It's time for us to live and be free. And the song goes, all we need is freedom for you and me. All we need is freedom so we can be. All we need is freedom.